मैं अहमदाबाद से हूँ, गुजरात से। मेरे पिताजी वेजिटेबल वेंडर है। आई एम द फर्स्ट गर्ल फ्रॉम माई सोसाइटी टू बिकम एन IAS.
And I've recently finished my MPhil in Global Political Economy. My inspiration for joining the service was my father, who was a 1970 batch IAS officer. My husband is also in the IAS.
We are a refugee family from Pakistan. I had to necessarily take my matriculation examination as a private student.
I am from Solapur district of Maharashtra. I have come from very poor family background. My parents were working as a stone carvers.
My father belonged to a family of zamindars. उनकी families में हुआ करता था एक आध बच्चे ऐसे होते थे जो जिनको पढ़ाया नहीं जाता था. So my father was one of those.
I come from the southern part of India. I spent my life quite a few years outside because my dad was posted abroad.
I am from the eastern part of Bhutan. My father is a banker.
My mother is a kirtankar. We have a temple at a place called as Varanggaon in Maharashtra.
My father is an head constable in police.
My father is a farmer.
I'm an MBA in finance.
Graduated from Delhi University. I was in St. Stephen's College.
Industrial engineering from Thapar Institute, Patiala.
BTech from IIT Roorkee.
MSc Forestry graduate.
I was working as a scientist.
Was in the Delhi Judicial Service.
Excise Inspector.
Lecturer.
I come from Thiruvananthapuram.
प्रतापगढ़ का रहने वाला हूँ.
कोलकाता, वेस्ट बंगाल.
साबरकांठा.
मणिपुर.
जम्मू एंड कश्मीर.
लखनऊ.
बिलासपुर छत्तीसगढ़.
मुंबई.
गुड़गांव हरियाणा.
उधमसिंह नगर डिस्ट्रिक्ट.
दरभंगा बिहार.
I'm the first woman to become IAS with Telugu medium.
Opportunities available to the youngsters of those days were not as they are today. Even IITs, IIMs and all those things were not there. So civil service was one of the principal magnets. You get prestige, you also get reasonably well paid.
I have lost my left eyesight, but I have not lost my right vision, and I want to use this right vision for the sake of the nation.
Being a medical doctor, I was able to concentrate only on the physical aspect of life. And what the women face, the problems, the roots are something in the social system. So as a doctor, I felt helpless. I decided to join Indian Administrative Service to mobilize the resources of the government.
There was no love of forestry per se when I joined this service. As a youngster, I really did not know what is good and bad. So I went what others told me. Everybody wrote the examination. I also wrote the examination.
In Bihar, if you go there, you will see that going into the civil services is the basic theme that any of the parents nurture in their child.
It is one area which give you an exposure to work with the community.
जो मेरा डिस्ट्रिक्ट पड़ता है साबरकांठा, वो ट्राइबल डिस्ट्रिक्ट है. मैंने बहुत सारी ऐसी प्रॉब्लम्स देखी है, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन की हो, रोड हो, या फिर कोई भी प्रॉब्लम गवर्नमेंट मशीनरी की हो.
So one way is to criticize the thing that system is bad, politicians are corrupt, bureaucrats are corrupt, and second option is you yourself enter into the system and do the right things.
Being into the forest service attaches to itself the element of adventure.
जब मैं मतलब छोटा था तो उस समय नेशनल ज्योग्राफिक और डिस्कवरी चैनल बहुत ज़्यादा देखता था. तभी से लगता था कि फॉरेस्ट रिलेटेड जो भी सर्विस होगी उसमें काम करना है.
I was without a job and I had kind of fallen in love. The loved one is my wife now. I was doing nothing. So she was sort of pushing me into saying, "Hey, you do something." The easiest opportunity seemed to be to give the UPSC.
Ever since I was small, I just wanted to be in the service. I don't know, maybe it was the glamour of seeing a DC or something. I'm still not sure.
When we were preparing for the exam, we used to discuss that we don't want to become an IAS and IPS. We used to talk amongst each other, यार LBS पहुँचने का है.
I've seen these places only in magazines, and for the first time I'm seeing it in real life.
जब हम लोग अंदर आ रहे थे तो मुझे लग रहा है जैसे कि कोई सपना सच हो जा रहा है.
It is one of the few institutions where people have to undergo a prolonged training, especially in the civil services, at one institution. During the foundation course, the whole lot comes here, where there are people from the IAS, the people from the Foreign Service, the Audits and Account Service, the Income Tax Service, all getting together as a batch. So a person who goes out from the academy as a probationer knows people all over the country. That kind of a network that exists in this country is, I think, of a very unique nature.
Now I feel that I have many friends all over India.
I wasn't good at horse riding, but the horses surely loved me. They never threw me off their backs.
We used to laugh at people falling down from the horses.
क्यों हॉर्स राइडिंग कराते हैं अभी तक? हालांकि उसका डिस्ट्रिक्ट में जाने के बाद कोई भी उपयोग नहीं हुआ. बट वो है ना एक परंपरा चली आ रही. वो घोड़े भी हैं एकेडमी के पास, उनका क्या किया जाए?
To ride an animal can help you overcome many of your fears. And to overcome your fear for many of the services, especially the IAS and the IPS, is very, very important.
So many of the instruments of state which we employ started off in India during the colonial phase. Now, if we argue, forget horse riding, that a parliamentary system of government, for instance, constitutional courts, independent judiciary, these are all things which we have borrowed essentially from, not only from Great Britain, but from various other constitutions in the world.
The training model that has been adopted is the Thames Valley model. So it has been taken from the British. So maybe through that, some part of Western influence is there.
Of course, the colonial hangover is inevitable. And because the time when all these courtesy and those kinds of books were put together, there would be this emphasis on maintaining an air of exclusivity.
I think it's the necessity of wearing warm clothes, which is mandatory in a weather like Mussoorie. And if you have to be in a formal training institute, then you have to wear formal dress, so finally it boils down to suit and tie. So it boils down to colonial.
If you call basic mannerism and etiquettes the legacy of colonialism, I don't think it is correct. What is more important is to remove that feeling of being elitist. That should go from all the services.
I was hopeful when I was there that if they really spend a little more time on inculcating spiritual values, not just ethical values.
There is hardly any spiritual teaching which is religion neutral. We are relatively shy of any symbols which remind you of a particular, religious background.
If people from very high class of the society join the service, and which had been happening, so they would certainly be removed away from the rural masses by virtue of their upbringing. At least those people coming from rural background would have a better exposure of the rural background, and probably they would be able to better understand those conditions than people coming from very higher strata of the society joining these services. This aspect of rural people coming into this service will go a long way in improving or removing that colonial this thing.
Training regimen in the academy is very strict.
We have to get up early in 5 o'clock, and then we have PT, then classes up to 4, then again games at evening.
I have to come up so high for in the morning and in the evening to attend the class as well as to have food in the mess.
It is a little bit difficult for us to climb, no?
I was not very good at jogging. I had to work hard on that.
Our schedule is quite hectic over here. Even we don't have time to mix with our group.
हमें ऐसा लगता है कि हमारी फ्रीनेस थोड़ी बाउंडेड हो चुकी है.
There comes a time when I feel monotonous. The mess is not very well managed.
You know, when we are young, you are not wise enough to understand the inputs and the value, so you don't tend to respect it.
When you left the academy and you went into the field, there were moments when you thought, oh my God, I wish I had kind of heard this part more seriously.
We had a very tough trainee. We didn't like it quite often, but we still feel that if we are accomplished as professionals today, it is simply because we were given appropriate training.
The atmosphere of Mussoorie, it's quite romantic actually.
I met my husband here at the academy. I actually remember meeting him. It was the first trek in FC and we had gone to Rabbit Farm. So I remember it to the date.
उस वक्त हम लोग ट्रेनिंग कर ही रहे थे यहाँ पे, तो हमने ये सोचा कि हम लोग घर चले जाएंगे, शादी करके वापस आ जाएंगे. जब तक शादी नहीं होती तब तक मेरा कार्ड चेंज नहीं करेंगे अंडर द रूल्स. I was allotted UP, Ravi was allotted Maharashtra. I think we were the first couple who went away, got married and came back to the academy.
And then Mussoorie has got its own charm, I guess. You know,